Hello, friends. It's me again, Ozan Kotoglu. Atum. We did the weekly astrology interpretations yesterday, and the day before yesterday, today came the weekly tarot interpretations, also astrology. It examines the sky, or rather the universe, directly through the planets. Tarot, on the other hand, is governed by cards, or rather, cards governed by planets, examining mystically by taking humans as a base, one from above and one from below, one in a mathematical way, and the other reads mystically. Both are the art or science of reading. Today has come for the weekly tarot interpretations, friends. Let's see what awaits the zodiac signs in the coming week. As Uranus moves towards a conjunction with the Sun, and both Venus and Mercury are in Aries, in the realm of self, we will explore, in the language of tarot, what awaits us in the realm of self, in our lives, what it will bring us, and what we can do with what it brings. I say Atum. That's why we're starting, friends. We're starting. We'll start in a second. Yes, friends with Aries as their sun sign and rising sign. Let's see what awaits you in the coming week. Aries, career life 1, career life 2, and career life 3. Aries, emotional life 1, emotional life 2, and emotional life 3. And let's start reading the tarot. What awaits Aries sun and rising signs in the coming week in their career lives? Aha. A week that will start with restlessness. Exactly. Mars will be in Leo. A week that will start with restlessness regarding what is happening. Are the things I want happening? Will they happen? Or should I just give up? There will be a world of restlessness in your mind, says the Four of Swords. There are also things you will hear along with the swords, because it is about thoughts. There are things you will hear. Tarot says, for heaven's sake, don't ever give up on the path you believe in or your dreams. Keep moving forward. Dear Aries, at the very beginning of the week it says, don't let this restlessness lead you astray. When we reach the middle of the week, you will be scratching quite a bit. The Nine of Wands indicates you will be scratching quite a bit. Damn, should I really give up? No. Look, you swam and came to your tail, he says. You've swum, and now you're at the tail end. The Nine of Wands. The next step is the Ten of Wands. From there, it leads towards victory. The final card will determine that. I wonder how high is the ditch that the camel will jump over by the power of the shadows, and it was the last card. Maybe the major arcana comes into play there. You will slowly find balance. The balance adjustment will fit perfectly. At the end of next week, or exactly at the end of next week, the moon will be in Scorpio. Mars also rules the sign of Scorpio. Mars also rules the sign of Aries from the emotional depths, because Scorpio is the king of the underworld. Aries is the king of the earthly world. You'll find that balance from underground, he says, brother. You will find that balance. If you need to scratch, then scratch. Otherwise, it won't be enjoyable anyway. It won't be enjoyable. What matters is the path you walk on anyway. When we look at your emotional life, if you display conciliatory attitudes, your emotional bonds will strengthen next week. Your emotional bonds will strengthen. This means you should not pay attention to any rumors you hear, dear Aries. Otherwise, you won't be conciliatory in your mind, because here the head of the Leo sign is present. You won't act. with conciliatory movements. This reconciliation won't happen automatically. However, there's a situation in the middle of the week. You need to be consistent. You need to be consistent. And especially in your emotional life. No one should think, I'll say this now, but it's okay if I don't follow through later. Drop this mindset, man, and make sure the person in front of you isn't in this mindset either. You're acting conciliatory, but does the person in front of you really want this? Is he really saying this? Because there's a term called kafalamak, to persuade or win over. I sealed the deal. Yes, I sealed it. I sealed it. I'll say it if I see it. I sealed it. What deals do you seal? It's not like you think. The moon will be in Virgo, Achtung. Of course, if it were there, the shop would be yours. Because there, you're starting a brand new adventure. Balance is forming above as well. With the moon in Scorpio, you're starting a brand new adventure. Is that adventure worth it? Will you enter that adventure being deceived, convinced, or will there be emotion involved? That is the question, Mr. Coach. For the upcoming week, friends with the sun sign and rising sign in Aries are expecting such a cycle. Mayday, mayday. Exactly. Now let's come and take a look at Taurus signs. What awaits, friends? With the sun sign and rising sign in Taurus, we have seen the Aries sign for the upcoming week. It was ticking, 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 ticking. Taurus sign, career life 1, Taurus sign, career life 2, and Taurus sign, career life 3, Taurus sign, emotional life 1, Taurus sign, emotional life 2, and emotional life 3. Let's see what is and what isn't in your career life next week. Aha. You will face the fear of losing. The 5 of Swords in your commercial life. Will I lose? Will I not lose? Or will I reach the point I desire? You are now the number 1 rule of the universe. The number 1 rule of the universe and psychology. Every step you take with the fear of losing is a step without confidence. A step without confidence. And this means that you cannot reflect your true self. Well, this automatically means that you cannot fully convey your energy. Well, this already brings about the possibility of losing. This means you are making yourself experience what you fear. For this, you first need to sincerely name it, my friend. You need to sincerely name it. Otherwise, Mokoko, that is, Achtung, the lion groom is here. And there are some words you will hear, words you will hear in your commercial life. Are those words just words spoken casually? Just like that we do. We do. The 7 of Swords. You need to be careful there. I swear I'll pay that money. You will pay, you will pay. If I see it, I'll tell you. There needs to be a serious authority situation there. There needs to be a serious authority situation. Look, if you say you'll do something, if you don't name it, you need to do it, Mr. Taurus. Otherwise, Mokoko. Exactly. Otherwise, you won't even be able to get what you're owed. Because the 7 of Swords says, be careful. When you reach the end of the week, and the moon enters Scorpio, do you know what it will make you do? If necessary, you're under the swords here. This place is not suitable for me. The people here do not keep their promises. In fact, I can't get along with the people here. It's not a suitable place for me. I need to find an exit point. If necessary, I should make connections elsewhere. If necessary, I should leave here. If you want to go higher, dear Taurus signs and Taurus ascendants, pay attention here. Atunk. Mayday, mayday. Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. What happened? We have a serious problem. The issue is serious. Atunk. Because at the end of the week, the moon is in Scorpio, Taurus ascendant. Scorpio is your serious house, serious work and serious relationships. Are there now if you don't break it off? If necessary, then, God willing, I'll work it out. Then go and perform its funeral prayer. Exactly. What does your emotional life say? Your emotional life says that next week there are possibilities and situations that will make you say, is this it? This is it. If you evaluate them, if you evaluate them, it will be perfect. Like a gem, very nice, you'll lift the cup directly, saying, this is it. Now, emotionally, I have achieved what I wanted. Exactly, I have achieved it now. In the middle of the week, the moon moves towards Virgo. However, there's a situation like this. You've achieved what you wanted, but should you not overdo it? Don't overdo it. Shouldn't you squeeze it too much? Don't squeeze too much. Because if you do, you'll kill it. You'll be acting suffocating in your emotional life. Even if you acted suffocatingly, the other person would go. The signals are gone. They go, I mean. What are we after? They'll say, oh my God, what are we after in our private life? But I wanted to do this. If you try to say, my intentions were good, then after that, ooh. And then, look, what is this saying? You have rivals. I swear. I'm serious. You need to be careful. A lot of suffocation comes from jealousy. You are the throat, you make my guests sit down, you make my guests sit down. But, I can't stand them being around you. Okay? But don't you need to express this in a more appropriate way and stand by accordingly? Are you knowingly gifting me to others? Why are you suffocating excessively? And you have tribal infections. There are tribal infections. Should I leave that infection? What happened? It causes inflammation. Inflammation. Exactly. Everything is like this. From shame. Next week seems a bit troublesome for you, dear Taurus. Clean. Let's move on. It's clean. Now let's come to the sun sign and rising sign, Gemini. Let's see what your situation is for the upcoming week. Gemini sign. Career life 1. Career life 2. And career life 3. Gemini sign. Emotional life 1. Emotional life 2. And emotional life 3. What does the commercial life say for you, dear Gemini, next week? It says there will be a job. What happened? You will reach that end. Whether you want it or not, it doesn't matter. Here, the death card says that you will reach the end of something in your commercial life in a tangible sense next week, right before your eyes. And this will lead to quite significant changes. It will be pregnant with them. You will see this at the beginning of the week anyway. You will see this when you reach the middle of the week. Now, something is coming to an end in a tangible sense. Well, people are making their final moves in the commercial life. Since we're doing it, since it's going now, I'll also bring out the malice inside me and trip it up from behind. Just when you say you're going to relax, bam. What happened? It's gone. Arrivederci. You need to be careful in the middle. Excessively I reached it later. From now on, everything will undergo a radical transformation as I want. Watch out for the foot behind. Look, this foot is coming from underground. It's coming from underground. Don't let it sneakily do a bam. Don't let it happen. Be careful. So, don't get complacent right away, my friend, because at the end of the week, the moon is in Scorpio. Why is the moon in Scorpio? If you want to add strength to your strength, you may need to sacrifice some things. In a radical sense, exactly. And while sacrificing these things, you need to pay attention to what you are sacrificing. Make sure that what you sacrifice doesn't trip you up or put obstacles in your way. You need to pay urgent attention to this. Dear Gemini. So, what does my emotional life say? My emotional life says that next week you might need to make some strategic changes in your emotional life. Why? Because your major signs are likely to be high. Gemini. Where is Leo, man? In the second house. No, the second house is Cancer. The third house is Leo. Virgo is the fourth house. Libra is number 6, the fifth house. So, there will be quite a few malicious people around you next week. There will be secretive events, and these secretive events might cause you to change your strategy. In your emotional life, in your business life, they might trip you up. You might be manipulated in your emotional life. That manipulation might later want to challenge you with very high resistance, dear Gemini. What will you do then? What will you do then? There's nothing to do then, is there? Are you going to enter an ego battle there? What if the whole thing was just for ego satisfaction? What will you do then? I played with you. I was very nicely satisfied. Then if the person in front of you says, I will break that ego, breaking it won't do any good. Why? Breaking it won't do any good. What good will it do, brother? If there was no emotion in the situation, it doesn't matter whether you break that ego or not. If you break it, a huge void will form in the matter. There's no emotion. After that, what difference does it make whether you experience it or not? Now, if there's emotion involved, break that resistance to clear the way. But if there's no emotion, clear your own path. Because if there's no emotion involved, who is there? There's Suleiman. If there's no emotion, it doesn't matter whether you break it or not. You end up blocking your own path. You waste time on the path you are meant to take. Is it worth it? Ask yourself this first, dear Gemini. Is it worth it? First, take a look, be sure. For that, it might be useful to manipulate the person in front of you. Why? The true intention comes out. Yes, now. Let's move on to the Cancer Sun sign and rising sign. What is your situation? What is it not? What is it not? We will look, we will see now. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, stay alive, keep alive, keep alive, keep alive, keep alive. Cancer Sun sign and rising sign, career life 1, career life 2, and career life 3. Emotional life 1, emotional life 2, and emotional life 3. What is it saying? For your emotional life and commercial life, like the Taurus signs, I think water and earth groups will face problems next week. While reaching some of your goals, there is a week that will measure your true intentions and determination between you and those goals. That week is this week, and it seems like you might face some losses and some difficulties ahead. Am I going to lose this? No, if you want, go ahead and break it off. But first, we need to know what you're breaking off. Do you want this like a real man? Do you really want it? If you want it, say it so we know. 2. This is 1. 2. Is what you want suitable for here? Huh? Is what you want suitable for here? Or do you need to leave this place? Are you going to carry out what you want somewhere else? There is the question, Houston. This is the biggest question. For that, you might need to leave. At the end of the week, at the point where you will go, you might feel so relieved, or you might not find what you need to do at the place where you need to do it. You might go and find it somewhere else and come back. But is it suitable for here? I will definitely relax at the end of the week, because you will understand this. You will understand what each one is. Once you understand that, there won't be any trouble again, dear Cancer. Therefore, next week, in the middle of the week, when the moon is in Virgo and intuitions, because Virgo is a constellation full of intuitions. If those intuitions are warning you there, meaning this won't work this way. Okay, if it says go and get it from there, it means it knows something. You need to listen to it. You are also moving towards a point of satisfaction in your emotional life. The star card says you are moving towards a point of satisfaction. In a spiritual sense, a moment. Because, look, this is the progression towards that point of satisfaction now. The World card is the pinnacle of the point of satisfaction. In the middle of the week, do some people have secret plans? Mayday, mayday. Mayday, mayday. Someone in your emotional life has secret plans. Is the person who is trying to satisfy you, who seems to comfort you, actually having secret plans about you. You feel at ease. You start to let your guard down. And you do let it down. Then they shouldn't do it. Because look, there's that pisht here. Exactly. That's it. What happened? Wasn't it like this? I did it just so you would fall into that trap. Was it all a lie? Completely. It was all my story. It was all a fairy tale. I wasn't actually serious here. You would be committing harikari. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Because after that, unless you experience a mental alignment there, look at next week. The moon is in Virgo. At the beginning of the week, the moon is in Leo. Leo is fixed. Virgo shows variability. But if it returns to being fixed again, this is already a manipulation. Look, okay, let's do it. We'll see. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Oh, after Virgo, what happened with the guarantee? You handed over the balance to the person in front of you with a snap, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So what are you going to do then? At the weekend, you'll see that your hands are tied. What happened? It has completely influenced you. So what are you going to do? Yeah, that's what's needed. Such things should be paid attention to. Don't say, I didn't warn you later, dear Cancer. Now let's move on to friends with the sun sign and rising sign in Leo. What is your situation? What is it not? Leo sign, career life 1, career life 2, and career life 3. Leo sign, emotional life 1, emotional life 2, and emotional life 3. What is it? What is it not, dear Leos? There are opportunities to add value to your values in your commercial life. 2 of Wands. For this, action is necessary. The moon is in its rising sign, in Leo, in conjunction with Mars. By the middle of the week, only those opportunities and individuals that will add value. In the middle of the week, when the moon is in Virgo, the event reaches a conclusion because the moon in Leo means action. The moon in Virgo means the values that will come into your hands as a result of that action. During those values, will you enter a conflict of ideas with the wands around you? Will you eat or not? In plain Turkish. Will you eat or not? Who eats whom? In your commercial life, will you reach a compromise there? Or will you say, I know better? Why do you know better? Because there's a planet behind you, my friend. Will you say there's a star behind me? It's not just anything? Because depending on the compromise, the Prince of Pentacles, events, those incoming materials will change the balance. Moon in Libra. After that, those balances won't be changed anyway. With the moon in Scorpio, you'll already be charging ahead. But what's important are the decisions that will be made in the middle of the week, compromise or resistance. Where will this lead to? That's up to you. At the end of the week, will you tie the positive news to compromise, or will you go blindly? That is the question, Mr. Leo. In your emotional life, it's possible for you to become complacent or to cause someone else to become complacent. Now, here's the thing. If you become complacent, you'll end up neglecting your work due to excessive comfort. So, didn't the construction happen this time? Since we're comfortable, why should we do it? If you give this sense of comfort to the person in front of you, they might think they can just lift their trophies, like they're doing it anyway. Do I really not need to make any effort? They might say later. If they say that, it's exactly like the moon in Leo. Then a question mark starts to form in the mind. Period. Question mark. Reason? I wonder if I can trust. If they don't give this much comfort, you can trust. Leo, you're stable. I wonder if I can trust. You're very comfortable, though. Now, you can't always get trust from the other person. You also need to take action. You need to start that action too. If you're just waiting for the other person to make a move, you'll be waiting a long time. Exactly. You also need to take action. Mayday, mayday. So, What does the end of the week say? At the end of the week it says, hey, my friend, what do your instincts say? Listen for a moment. Listen, I'm listening. It says it's good. Well then, why are you scrutinizing everything? Even if you scrutinize it, it will happen, and if you don't, it will still happen. Why? Because whether you want it or not, you're going to enter there, my friend. What does the death card say? Murphy's Law. If something is going to happen, it will happen anyway, by the power of the shadows. You'll look at the results afterward, after everything has passed and everything has changed. Mayday, mayday. If you're getting into calculations now, you're a lion. Oh, we're screwed. Exactly. Now let's move on to Virgos. What are the situations for Virgos in the coming week? Bitter. Virgo career life 1, career life 2, and career life 3. Virgo emotional life 1, emotional life 2, and emotional life 3. What does it say for Virgos? It says, there's a greeting. Be careful not to be betrayed. Reason? Because there's a 10 of swords here like a door. It says, you might hit rock bottom mentally. Knock out, game over. At the beginning of the week, no less. With the Moon Leo Mars conjunction shot. Boom. What happened, Virgo? You were going to sting and you did. Stung. Didn't you? Sting. You didn't sting. You completely finished it. Exactly. Be careful. Be careful. Conciliatory attitudes only go so far. At the start of the week, conciliatory attitudes only go so far. Then let it not be your precious ideas or your efforts that suffer. You went too conciliatory. Virgo, be a bit more flexible. Then suddenly, a clash. What happened? We did it. What did you do? We did this. Weren't we going to do this? Weren't we going to do this? After that, whatever is left for you in that parcel, whatever is left, 1/3 will remain. If you pay attention to this, you will already perform the chip sign, dance. Why? It turned out just the way you wanted. Is this it? This is it. Dan and... Exactly. You start heading towards Dan. It's over. What happened? This is what I wanted anyway. But since the events will be completely out of your control and improvised, this is governed by Scorpio. You really need to be careful there. Stretch from here to 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 there. Shot. Goal. In your emotional life, it says in your emotional life. Look, for the love of God, don't panic or anything. What's up? Then what are you doing? What are you after? Virgo, what are you after? Okay, the person in front of you will comfort you. But what are you after? Don't panic, move, and try to attack. Just because it will comfort you. There's something called shame. What happened? Because you are heading towards a change in orbit. A change will be requested from you. If you make that change in panic, it's game over. Game over. If it were me, I would wait. First. I would wait first without any panic. Then I would determine the direction. With love, Empress. Because it will bear fruit. For that fruit, after receiving the news that will bring you comfort, slowly and without panic, because there's a 49 there, after receiving the news, you need to relax and turn the direction towards it. If you do so much, from the start, you will never reach here. What happened? Because they will then assign that direction elsewhere. But that direction is not the one you want. But life is your life. How are we going to do this? Oh, opium? Exactly. That's all from me for now, friends. See you in the next video. I am Ozan Kurtube. Goodbye to everyone. Take care.